Oh, where'd he go? He ran off. He went out there now. Oh, there he goes. Oh, look at that. I didn't even have a look at him. It was so quick. Don't know what it was. Just a lizard of sorts, I'm not sure. Interesting, lovely to see. Nice to see these little animals running around, little reptiles. But I'm not sure what it was. It was a little bit too quick for me. I have to work on my speed spotting. Alright, now Jamie had those lions earlier, and it sounds like they're busy feeding. Let's go have a look.
He is indeed tucking into his buffalo meal, and for those of you that are new to these safaris, and perhaps for whom this is a little bit too much, you can sort of go and make yourself, as James describes it, perhaps go and make yourself a cup of tea, and then come back if you're not into the gory things. And our lion is currently tucking into his buffalo meal, quite happily munching away, so he was just sleeping off quite a full belly. And he's now going about the task of what looks like eating. It looks like he's eating the head. So I was right about the fact that he has nibbled away all of the sort of the internal organs, and those of course are the best part of your average buffalo kill. Now he's using that rasping tongue to lick away the flesh from around the bones. We're not going to stay with him for too much longer, just because there are other vehicles that want to come into the sighting, but we'll spend as long as we possibly can before we move out, and we'll go off in search of other things, perhaps some cheetah on the open area of Cheetah Plains. What do you think, boy? But it is an absolute pleasure to see Nsuku once again. It has been a long time since we last saw him, a very long time. And generally, we actually don't see all that much of 2 of the 4 of the Birmingham boys. Tinyo and Mfumo spend their most amount of time with us and around us, and with the Nkuhuma pride, whereas Nsuku and Nena, they have a tendency to roam a little bit further away from our Traverse area. They're often in Chitwa, occasionally even down into Mala, and generally just more on the eastern fringes of the Birmingham boys' territory. And that's not to say that they don't come together every now and again, although I can't think of the last time we saw all 4 boys together. Can you, Viam?
Years ago.
It feels like years ago. It was a long time ago. Sorry, hold on one moment. Sorry guys, hold on one second. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. He's got it under control. I've been trying to figure out exactly how big this buffalo is, but Judy Starr and Roger, you want to know whether or not he took down this buffalo by himself. Yes, I think he did. In fact, I'm almost certain that he did. The Birmingham boys, of course, have a reputation as being serious buffalo killers. They have been known in the past. Let me just try and go backwards. Oh, hold on. As I said that, he sort of came back into... No, let me go back a little. Sorry, everybody, making emotions sick here. Let me just go back a tad. It's a very tricky position that we found ourselves in, or he's found us in, or we found him in, or something like that. So yes, the Birmingham boys have quite the reputation as very well equipped buffalo hunters. Now there is this reputation that male lions can't hunt, or that they are lazy hunters. They're not lazy hunters. And a lot of the studies have been based off very, very skewed science. So yes, social hunting is often more effective. It has a higher success rate. The females will hunt alongside the males when the males are around. And yes, they'll probably have a slightly higher success rate because there's lots of them. But the fact that the male doesn't necessarily always catch the kill doesn't mean that he's not a vital part of that whole process. There are statistically always going to be more females than there are males when they are hunting. So even the research papers that sort of claim that the females are more successful hunters, they're statistically more likely to be because there's more of them. And yes, the male lion is a little bit slower and he gets a little bit hotter than the females because he's got this big head of hair that will heat him up, and but he does have an extra 100 kilograms at least on a female. And that means that just in sheer power, in terms of sheer power, absolutely a male lion is capable of taking down a fully grown buffalo all by himself. And very often they play a pivotal role when a pride is taking down something like maybe a buffalo, although we know the Nkumas can do that on their own. Oh boy, which way are we going? Oh, look at that power. The strength of that lion. Let's go over to Byron, see what he's got.
It's a female boomslang. Wow, look here everyone, we've just found a snake. And now have a look, it's a beautiful snake. It looks like it's a female boomslang. That's exactly what it is. A beautiful female boomslang. Can you see her up in the tree? Oh, wonderful. I get so excited because I love snakes. I really do. And you can see her clearly sitting up there. And look how she's puffed her neck up a little bit. It's typical of a boomslang to try and make themselves a little bit bigger. So she obviously got a fright with us walking past. She was down on the ground. Yeah, she was on the ground, and as we walked past, she shot up into the tree, incredibly agile. Now the boomslang, the name boomslang directly translated, it's actually a Dutch or Afrikaans word. Directly translated means tree snake. And for exactly this reason, incredibly fast climbers, very agile. But now the wonderful thing. Sorry. Oh wow! Oh my word! Aubrey is on walk with us, and he's got incredible eyes. Now let's leave that snake there for a second, and I just want to point at something sitting in the tree. A beautiful white-faced scops owl. Can you see it over there? Oh, this is wonderful. I have not seen one of these owls for ages. I'm just keeping my eye on that snake too. Look at that. That is very, very special, everyone. That is amazing. Beautiful white-faced scops owl. Now, please don't get confused with this owl and the scops owl, the other little one that we get in this area. This is called the white-faced scops owl. It's much larger, but you do get them in these areas too. Let's see. Oh, is it trying to crawl away? There, look at that. Oh wow, that is beautiful. I can't believe I don't have my camera with me, and this is exactly why we do these bushwalks, to find little creatures like this, or these birds that are so hard to see. Look at those beautiful orange eyes. And those tufts of feathers, they look like ears standing up. That is really, really very special. I'm so happy we got to see that. I have not seen one of these for a very long time. Look how it's walking. It's trying to just hide away from us. Now they are mainly nocturnal, and I think that's why it's choosing not to fly away. Isn't that face incredible? I hope some of our viewers back home are getting a lot of screenshots of this, because this is not something we see often, and I'd love to see it when we get back to camp. This is really beautiful. That face is incredible. I'm so excited. I don't really know what to say. The boomslang is still off to the left, but I think let's stick on that owl for a bit, because it's not something we see often. The boomslang hasn't moved yet. I'm just trying to have a look. Aubrey said he thinks he saw another owl. Oh my word, that is a scops owl. So we have a white-faced scops owl. Now have a look at those two different species of owls. They're just to the left of that one. You can see another one hiding there.
And
Where that bird's just jumped, just off to the left, there's another one. No, you know what, just having a look on close inspection, and they're both white-faced scops owls. That's a little bit bigger than the scops owl. I'm just having a look. That Boomslang is moving now. There's so much going on here, I don't know what to show you. It might be around this side. I'm just going to have a walk around here to have a look. There's two owls. You also have a beautiful view from this side. Just want to see where that snake has gone or where it's going. Now these snakes are so agile. Can't see it at the moment, and that's not a worry but a little bit of a concern. I'll talk about the snake in a moment. I'm just trying to find it. Just keep a good eye out for it. You might still be able to see those owls. Where did the snake go now? Oh, there it is there. I caught it now. Okay, wow. It's incredible. Genre, we might be able to get a lovely view of it. The snake, sorry, the snake. I've got a view of the snake again. If you want to come have a look, there's beautiful light on it. Just through here at the back over there. Now, this snake does hunt birds, but I think these white-faced scops owls will be a little bit too big for it. Actually, I know they're much too big for this little boomslang, this female boomslang. But she will hunt chameleons, birds, and some other reptiles, but generally chameleons and birds that sit on the trees in the evenings, and they are nocturnal. And if you have a close look at the head of that boomslang, she has got very large eyes, and that is so that she's able to see very clearly at night. Now, these snakes, drop for drop, actually have the most potent venom in Africa. Now, there's always a bit of a debate between this snake and obviously a black mamba in that, and the black mamba does have very potent venom, but drop for drop, this is very, very powerful, but it is a hemotoxic venom, so it doesn't really affect you as quickly as a black mamba neurotoxic venom. I'll tell you the difference between the two. So hemotoxic attacks the blood, and what happens is you start to bleed internally, and it can cause severe hemorrhaging, and that's the boomslang. But then the thing with the boomslang though is that it's got a very, very small head, and it is back fanged. So the fangs sit right at the back of the mouth. So when it does bite you, if it does bite you, these snakes are actually very, very placid, and they prefer to move away from you as quickly as possible, as we could see with this tree, or with the boomslang, and getting right up into the top of the branches away from us. But if they had to bite you, they would have to try and bite generally a smaller part of your body, perhaps your arm or your hand, and they almost have to chew a little bit to work that mouth right over whatever appendage it is that they bite, to inject their fangs with the venom in the back of the mouth. So it's not always a guarantee that it does bite you, for one, and if they bite you, they do have to bite you a specific way to inject the venom, but you do not want to get bitten by one of them. The other thing is I was explaining the black mamba and the difference in venom with that. The black mamba venom is neurotoxic. It attacks your nervous system. So what happens is your breathing and that your whole nervous system starts shutting down. You struggle to breathe, and that is usually what kills people very quickly if they don't receive medical attention very, very soon. Wonderful to see that boomslang. That is really, really a fantastic surprise. So James, that boomslang, you asked how long I estimate it to be. So I think it was possibly about a meter. So if I show you, can you still see it there, Jean-Andre? You still got it, but it's about, say, about a meter long. About a meter long. They can get a bit longer. Some big boomslangs, I think 1.5 to 2 meters, but I think it's about owls again. This is really incredible. They're still sitting here. They are so beautiful. The two of them. Now, the one is potentially a male, and the other one a female. But I'm trying to have a look if we've got a nice view. Maybe through here, Genre. There we go. But the other one is also maybe just a juvenile, a younger one, because it doesn't really have that large face or facial markings like the one on the left. But I'm not sure. It'd be interesting if that boomslang gets close to them, but I've lost it again in the tree. Oh no, there I've got it. It's right at the top now. Wow, that's incredible. Aubrey's helping us spot the whole time, and I can see where that snake is now. But these owls are beautiful, and thankfully they're sitting dead still, just keeping their eyes on us. But how well camouflaged are they? I mean, right in the middle of the tree. Look, if you were driving past, you definitely wouldn't see them. And that again is one of the joys of being out on the bushwalk, to be able to see animals like this. Oh, this really, I can't tell you how excited I am. It's amazing because I do love snakes. I love seeing snakes. I find them fascinating. Look, I'm very respectful of them, and I won't necessarily just try and catch a snake. There's no need for that. And usually the people who do try and handle snakes or catch snakes are the people that get bitten. But to view them and to spend time with them, if you are fortunate to, I really, really enjoy that. And then to be able to see these two owls. Twinkle Glitter, you asked how could I tell it was a female snake, and I do apologize. I should have explained that in the beginning. The females are generally brown in coloration, whereas the males can get they range in color from a brownish green, they are a lot greener, to even occasionally in some parts of the country almost a yellow blackish color that they get on their backs. But generally the males are a lot greener, and that you can tell then it's a male as opposed to this beautiful female, the brown female, who is still up in the top of the tree, right at the top at the moment. Just incredible how agile she is to get up there, all the way up there. It was interesting to see her behavior when she felt threatened, puffing herself up like that very, very quickly. But she's calmed down and relaxed now. I'm sure she'll probably come down and try find some food at some point during the course of the evening. And you know what? I think what we are going to do is we're going to continue on now. Don't want to disturb these owls anymore, although they seem very comfortable, but let's leave them and let them carry on resting until they start getting active a little bit later. But wasn't that fascinating? That was so exciting, and what an amazing find. Really, really great. Okay, let's head back to Jamie and get an update from her.
Oh, that is such a cool sighting, and I have to say I'm a little bit jealous of that sighting that Byron has had. I think a boomslang might be my absolute favorite snake. I think it's something to do with the eyes. I absolutely love them. Are the Great Plains of Cheetah Plains, and I thought I'd come here to see if there were any wildebeest. Unfortunately, the Great Plains of Cheetah Plains are devoid of life this afternoon. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the wind. Perhaps all of the other animals have gone into hiding. There's no sign of any wildebeest, no sign of any baby wildebeest. It is a beautiful evening, but it doesn't have any mammal life with it. Really lovely view, beautiful clouds, stunning evening, but all is quiet. Oh, thank you very much to Charlie. I was telling you about Tundi. I didn't get a chance to see her, but we could see the vehicles that were looking at her in the Mulwanini, so there was no way we could get a view of her. But Thandi was in what we call the Mulwanini, which is a dried up river. It's a very steep dip. It's also known as Gremlin Hollow, because we don't have any signal down there, but it's one of her favorite spots. It's like the equivalent of the Mulwati or the Mulwati drainage for Karula for Thandi. And apparently she was finishing off a kill. I haven't heard anything about her, whether or not her cub was with her. I'm hoping that perhaps it was. I haven't heard any updates on that, but Thandi is happy, alive and well in the Mulwanini, snacking on something. She's got some kind of a kill with her, so she is eating. We're all happy to get any updates of Thandi. She is my favorite. You shouldn't have favorites. I really like Thandi. There's something about her that I really appreciate. And I'm hoping to have a chance to see her again. The last time I saw her cubs was before one of them was killed very sadly by the Styx lions, and it was when they were being chased by baboons. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance. I don't think any of us have had the chance to see them since then. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed that if she's there with a kill, that perhaps maybe tomorrow morning she might decide, if it's a small kill, she might be close by, resting in the sun or something similar. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that. Or perhaps we might even be around when she decides to move off, and we'll have a chance to see her. So that was the update on Thandi. Sorry about that, I totally forgot. I got distracted by the very good question about social learning in lions. And my conclusion is there's not a huge amount of social learning that we see in a very obvious way, but they are constantly adapting to new conditions, to drought, to the rainy season, to whatever prey is available. Our Nkuhumas, of course, have been specializing in buffalo at the moment. False alarm. So they've been taking full advantage of the weakened state of the buffalo. But no, I don't think there's any, that I'm aware of, any major advances in social learning. There's just so much food around. And that buffalo probably, I don't know, that could have been a lion, I suppose. But I haven't heard of any buffalo kills in this area while I've been back at work. So this probably was just a buffalo that succumbed to the drought and has been finished off by hyenas and vultures. So they really have been in very poor condition. Luckily, it seems as though the rains have arrived at just the right moment. The grass is looking greener, much, much greener, and not just on the other side, but all around the grass is greener. Well, we've been talking a little bit about diseases, and we might as well, while we're chatting, we might as well have a nice animal to have a look at, since these impala are here. Oh, or not. Or we could be running away. But Pat, you wanted to know if the animals can get epilepsy in the same way that domestic animals can. I don't know the answer to that question. I have absolutely no idea. I've never encountered any examples of epilepsy in wild animals. I suspect that if it did occur, it is a genetic fault that would have been bred out, just due to the fact that it would have made survival of those animals incredibly difficult, particularly for things that are... There's an oxpecker hanging onto that impala right at its belly. Particularly for things like leopards that are solitary creatures, and if they were struck by epilepsy, it would make them incredibly vulnerable in those moments. And I think that quite a lot of epilepsy within domestic animals, I imagine, particularly within dogs and cats, can be caused by, if not necessarily a lot of inbreeding, poor genetics and possibly other diseases that might have struck them. But I'm not sure. I really honestly don't know. I have heard of inbreeding in lions causing disorders like epilepsy, dwarfism. It is, after a few generations of inbreeding, lions do start to show severe effects of that sort of thing, which is why, of course, as brutal as it is, the male takeovers are so necessary. But whether or not an impala would have epilepsy, I don't know. I've never seen it. It does make me wonder whether the other animals would pick up on it. Like if it was a herd animal, like an impala, if it started to have epileptic fits or epileptic episodes, would the other animals shun it? Quite possibly. Animals tend to have a very good instinct for that sort of thing and for illness, and they obviously don't understand what it is. But if any of you have any knowledge of epilepsy in wild animals, I would love to hear about it. As always, you can send that through the normal channels on #SafariLive on Twitter, or you can email through to questions@WildEarth.tv. And maybe Brent knows something more, or Byron might know something more about epilepsy in wild animals. I don't. I can't think of an example where I've heard of it happening. It's hard to imagine. It's particularly when you start thinking of the larger animals, something like an elephant. It would probably be very dangerous, or a giraffe. Very, very dangerous for them. So no, I'm not sure. But a very good question. We've had some lovely questions coming through this afternoon, and thank you to all of you for sending them through. VM, have you ever heard of epilepsy in wild animals? No, I haven't. Not our wild animals anyway. Obviously I'm no expert into wild animals outside of Africa. No, I don't think so. I think it's a gene that would be relatively unlikely to express itself out here. It would be very rare if in fact it does exist or occur. Fascinating. Oh, no sign of any wildebeest on the great open areas of Cheetah Plains. I'm a little bit disappointed. I know that Byron had new baby wildebeest calves, and that's one of my favorite things. I absolutely love little baby wildebeest. They're so entertaining. They're as entertaining, if not more entertaining, than the little baby impala. Oh, shame. This old marula tree, every time I pass it, makes me just a little bit sad, because it is slowly but surely, it's dead, and slowly but surely rotting away. Branch by branch is falling off, and that's why you've got to be very careful and climbing on top of old and rotten marulas. Marula wood is very, very soft, which means that it is easy for the termites and the wood borers to eat, and it does end up eventually crumbling and collapsing. But it's a big marula, or it was a big marula tree. Would have been many years old. Now I've got to dodge around this. So our last plan for Cheetah Plains, since there's no sign of any cheetah and there's no sign of any wildebeest, and I'm a little bit nervous this marula is going to fall onto our heads. There we go. Would have been very unlucky if it had. I think we're going to go and check Djuma Dam to see if there is any sign of the sticks. And I'm laughing just because Rebecca pointed out that at least we've done our first aid drill this morning, where Brent had to pretend that he'd fallen off the vehicle and he was concussed, or at least he'd had a head injury and a potential neck injury and some broken ribs and one broken leg. He was a very noisy patient. And quite a risk. Pardon?
He chirped as well for somebody that broke his leg.
Oh, yeah. No, he did. He did give us the odd chirp. This isn't the first time that Brent has been the guinea pig. The last time it was a fake snake bite. And we laugh and we joke about these things, but they are, of course, incredibly important for us. And to just keep in our minds and keep refreshed the lessons that we've learned in terms of first aid and treating situations like that. Just because we are quite, oh goodness, more marula. We are quite far from medical facilities. So it is important that we have those lessons in mind. If, for example, Byron had perhaps lost his mind and decided to try and catch that Boomslang, for example, and she'd bitten him. Although Boomslangs, you're okay. You're not okay, you're going to be very ill, but you're okay in terms of time period. You've got a good few hours to get that person to hospital before the hemotoxic venom starts to act on your system. A mamba, on the other hand, is a completely different story. Now, while I travel all the way to Djuma Dam on Cheetah Plains, which is a bit confusing for those of you that are new, let us go all the way to Djuma and onto the great open area of quarantine.
Well, we've decided to come play with the baby impalas because they make us happy. So I'm just trying to find the big group of baby impalas. I can see a couple around here at the fireside chat spot. Hello, little one. Now, at this time of the day, they quite often get very playful, so that's what we're hoping for. Some of them might still be a bit young, and we're also hoping that the impala's keen senses will spot a leopard. Now, see what that one, look how this one's looking. Now, to the left, look at both of them. They're looking intently at something. Unfortunately, they have not spotted Cruella, but I think we should hit what they spotted with a stick, because it's now chasing our impalas away. Do you see what the impalas have spotted? I do. You see what they have spotted. Again, they thwart us. Look at them, they don't know they're on air. Look at them, they don't even... Oh, there we go, now they realise they chased our impalas. Wow, tusk, chasing our impalas. Look how the impalas are staring at them. They're looking at... They don't like Jean-Andre and Byron, do they? Look at them. They're giving them the evil eye. That is the impala equivalent of the evil eye. But they're like, okay, we don't like those guys, but they're not that scary, we don't need to snort at them. They're not Cruella. I was wondering why that impala was looking so intently to the west. Yes, run away from them, little one. Behind the gardenia that has been massacred by the elephants. It's amazing how quick and nimble they are from such a young age. Oh, off they go. Well, we have no... Oh, there goes the last of them. Bye, impalas. I suppose we better go find a cat now. Hey, Brian. Well, might as well. Let's go see if we can keep... We're going to keep checking for Cruella for now. We have checked all her common haunts, but alas. So they've dashed off. Now, sorry, I thought I saw something there. But now, let's go find out from Bushwalk what their excuse is for chasing our impala.
I'm so sorry, Brett. We didn't mean to chase the impala. We didn't know they were out on the clearing on that side. I'm sure they'll settle back down again soon. But we had such a wonderful bushwalk this afternoon. I really hope you all enjoyed it as much as we have. It's been fantastic, and a big thank you to all of you for your questions and comments. It's been great. Thank you to Aubrey, who was joining us this afternoon, and then Jean-Andre, thank you very much, as always, on camera. And from myself, Byron, it's been a great afternoon. Enjoy the rest of the drive, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.
Last station, who are you looking for? Ooh, what have we spotted? There we go. I'm just going to be on the radio for a second, but do you see that bird there? Not that I heard of, James. Oh, that is not what I actually spotted, but well spotted, Brian. Indeed, that is the lilac-breasted roller, the resident pair on quarantine. What I was looking at was the cuckoo, who's hanging around the roller, probably trying to get a chance to get into that roller's nest. Now, if we come across to the left of the dead tree, so where the biggest thick branch on the dead tree is, there we go. Zoom in up to the top. There we go. A little bit to the right. A little bit down. There. Oh, there he goes. It was a Levalance cuckoo. Oh, where's it going? A high speed. Was it Levalance or Jacobin? Turn to us. No, it's Levalance. You see the stripy throat. Now, lilac-breasted rollers do fall within their brood parasites. There we go. So the rollers have to keep a close lookout for those cuckoos who will kick their eggs out of their nest and lay their own. And you can see they are a similar size, even though that they're quite far away. Lovely shot, Brian. Oh, there he goes. Anyway, a little interesting. So there we go. The roller better be careful with brood parasites around, that it doesn't end up raising someone else's babies. Yes, I nearly forgot. You were chatting about epilepsy in wild animals with Jamie, and Jamie pretty much covered it all from what Final Controls followed. It is very unusual due to genetics in wild animals and the fact that they don't inbreed too often. And if an animal does become epileptic, it's normally abandoned by the pride, the herd, the mother, and will be left to die. Sorry, I've got alarm calls. Where are they looking? Is this Queen Karula around? We have been looking for her. Impala is snorting. I can't see a general direction. It sounds like they might be snorting a little bit further up. Now they are quite jumpy with young around. No, they didn't hang around, they snorted and ducked. Now this Nyala is, I'm not sure what's going on. See, that's why you trust in a Nyala and you trust a kudu. They confirm, they check before they start barking. Whereas impalas sometimes they'll just get a whiff of a predator and start alarming even though the predator might be long gone. Well, let's just go look towards where the Nyala was looking and the impala moved away from. Could it be the queen we've been searching so diligently for? So we're looking sort of towards this area here. Strange enough, this is the exact area Brian and I were planning to come check next. Now this green flush has made spotting a little bit more difficult than when there were no leaves anywhere. Okay. Now this is an area Karula has been known to utilize extensively and also disappear into extensively. It is quite a thick area. We have spotted her from camp on many occasions down. So there's the DRC. You can see our new fancy satellite dish. Look at that, isn't that snazzy, Byron?
That's amazing.
It's amazingly snazzy. Okay. Come on, Queen Karula, wouldn't it be a lovely afternoon treat for the killer bees on their first day reunited? Maybe she's heading towards Galagopan. Guinea fowls alarm calling as well. Now, the problem with guinea fowls at this time of the year is quite often they're arguing over ladies. But let's get in there a little bit quicker. Silence now. Let's keep checking. Those guinea fowls sound like they could have been anywhere from here. The Gallagher pan is literally just through this thicket here. Unfortunately, it's too thick to take a vehicle straight through, so we're going to have to go the long way around.
Is crossed for the killer bees. In the meantime, we have arrived at Djuma Dam, the great and flourishing waterhole, or what little water there is here, which is of course one of the favourite places of the Styx females. We saw two or so days in a row we were able to see the Styx female with her two brand new tiny fluffy little cubs hiding in the sort of the outflow of where this waterhole leads to, which is into a drainage line off sort of at the top part of the dam. I haven't seen any sign of her. There's no tracks or anything of the sort. They have reconstructed Djuma Dam, as you can see. It's been a work in progress, and they very kindly placed logs on the wall of the dam to make sure that nobody drives there, in order to make sure it doesn't get damaged in any way whilst everything sort of solidifies and settles. Unfortunately, one of those logs really looked like a lion. From all the way back along the road that side, I really thought we were about to come around the corner and find the Styx lioness sitting on the dam wall. It was most devastating to discover that she was not there. Then I got there and there's a beautiful, nice, tan, lion-coloured rock. But that's definitely not lion-shaped at all. But out of the corner of your eye, it could have been. Okay, it doesn't look so tan, actually. Well, fair enough. We're just going to dip through the dam and out onto the other side. Our signal should be fine. Our signal should be fine. We might lose communication just as we go through, but we should be fine on the other side. Jerry apparently says that the logs look a lot like crocodiles rather than lions. That one definitely does. That one looks like a very long crocodile. The one on the right there. That longish one. That could be a crocodile.
Logadile.
A logadile. We found a logadile, everybody. We don't really see crocodiles here, so a logadile is about as close as we're going to get. Until there's slightly more river. Slightly more river? That's not a word. Slightly more water in the dam. Okay, just hold on. We're going to skip through very quickly. Right, let's try and rephrase that. A crocodile is not an animal that we see all that frequently until we have more water in the dams, not until we have more river in the... I don't know what I was trying to say there. Okay, so no luck this afternoon, apart from, of course, our lovely Birmingham boy, the one that we don't often get to see. But no luck on Cheetah Plains. Although, night's not yet over. Who knows what we might bump into on our way home. But a 30-minute long serval sighting once on Cheetah Plains. I'm still hopeful for something thoroughly exciting and entertaining. No, there's no lion tracks around here. They could just be a little bit to the west of where we are now, on a property known as the Nets, which is just outside of our Traverse area, and also one of their preferred spots. So she might have taken the cubs that way. I'm not going to go digging into the drainage line though, to see if I can find her, at least not on foot. She's quite a skittish lioness, and we don't want to startle her with young cubs. The Styx Pride, for those of you that are new to these safaris, moves all the way from Cheetah Plains right onto Djuma. So they do have a large as all lion prides do. They have a large home range, but they do tend to spend most of their time between Cheetah Plains and Coral, and then Annette's just off to the west of us. But unfortunately today, the combination of wet soil and also potentially the fact that they aren't here, but it has made tracking them relatively tricky. I thought I'd tell you a funny story just by the way. Hold on, let's hear this first. And first, jy sê dat jy lief vir die voëls is. And Fast says, can we please look for the birds because they love them? Yes, we can work lief vir die voëls. I also really love the birds. Yes, we can look for them. With pleasure, we can look for them. One of the birds that I really want to see, because this afternoon, just before we started the pre-show, we saw a red-crested korhaan do its flight display. And there are so many red-crested korhaans on Cheetah Plains, and I haven't seen one today, but it's obviously their breeding season, so I'm quite upset that I haven't had a chance to see them. Well, you've already seen white-faced scopes owls, apparently, with Byron, in a place that That's a lovely bird to see. Okay, we found some Impala instead. Some female Impala, but I don't think that counts. Hello, ladies. Ooh, some very heavy pregnant bellies at the moment. Not many babies on Cheetah Plains, conversely. Oh, there's some birds, and they're having a dust bath. Sorry, in the middle of... There's a baby. Oh, it's about to interrupt the birds. There we go. Some Crested Francolin having a really lovely dust bath. Doesn't that look like fun? No, don't go. Don't go. Finish your bath. It's okay. A little puff of dust. Oh, that was terribly sweet. So the Francolin dust bathing as a way of essentially cleaning their feathers it's like exfoliating, essentially. So rather than having a quick bath, dust bathing is exfoliating the feathers, so the grains of the sand and the dirt scratch in between probably feel really nice for those Francolin, and at the same time catch and get rid of all of those mites and parasites that might be building up on them, especially after a day spent wandering through long grass. That was a nice rare opportunity to see birds doing what they do best, which is having a dust bath. We should go and have a look. I'm going to go and have a look and see that track, but I don't want to move because apparently our signal is a little bit shaky. So let's keep watching the Impala for now. Our lovely, very large ladies. It is interesting that Cheetah Plains saw the first wildebeest births, and yet they seem to be relatively behind in terms of Impala birth. And that happens. You get places where the birth starts, obviously you get slight, just a couple of days, couple of weeks variation between the different parts of this reserve in terms of when the animals start to give birth. All of these females, though, especially the one we're looking at, are imminent. The births are imminent. Fluffy tails are still wagging away. We're going to extricate ourselves from the signal black hole that we seem to be about to enter. While we do, let's travel all the way back across to Djuma.
Welcome back. Where are Brian and I going? There's no road in front of us. Brian, where are we going? Oh dear. I think I even lost where we're supposed to be going. I wonder what could be here. Yes, no, we went the wrong way. Brian, why weren't you looking? Yeah. So we are off the road. We're heading towards a creature. And what creature it is, I wonder. Well, of course I don't wonder. Brian, do you wonder?
No.
No, we know what it is. But you don't. Remember, this is 100% live, and you can send us questions using the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter, or you can pop us an email to questions@WildEarth.tv. And there is a creature. Does that look like one or two creatures? Just one. Oh dear. Hello, Mr. Creature. Here we go. Hello, it looks like Mr. Tinyo lazing about. One station with Wanunangala off Central Road, Vietela. Look at him. Hello, mister. Oh, your belly still looks quite full from the buffalo you were eating yesterday morning. Now, nice overcast afternoon, so he hasn't had to lie in the shade of a big tree. Sorry guys, I've just got to try help someone on the radio for a second. Standing by. Well, we wait to chat to them. Oh, there we go. Affirm Jan, it's Brent. So Richard was wondering, does male lion mane colour make a difference? Richard, I will be with you in 1 second. Affirm. Copy. Now, Richard, that's a really good question. So there has been quite a bit of different research into the mane color, and it seems that the darker the mane, the higher the testosterone level. And in certain parts of Africa, it seems that females are attracted to that. Now, as with a lot of things out in the African bushes, there's no steadfast rule, because as we've noticed in the last while, the most dominant male lion that's been within the Birmingham Boys has been Mfumo, the authority, and he's kept Tinyo at bay. And then, well, if Tsoko was down on Cheetah plans, I'm guessing the one we saw yesterday was Nena. So he has kept them both at bay, keeping Amber Eyes shielded from the other males, so he gets the first opportunity to mate with her. So in certain circumstances, yes, the darker the mane means more testosterone, and theoretically females prefer males with darker manes, and males are more scared of males with darker manes. But the authority of Mfumo doesn't have as dark a mane as Tinyo here. But I also think Mfumo's a little bit younger. And I don't think the Birmingham Boys are all the same age. And just looking at Tinyo's mane and some of the scars and nicks in his ears and that, I'd say he's possibly even a year older than the authority. Now, maybe the exuberance of youth is playing a role in him being more dominant, but if you look at the Mapogos, I mean, there were 5 males there, and often in the interactions that I personally saw in the Southern Sabi Sands, the most dominant was Mr. T, even though he had the least impressive mane and he was physically smaller than the other guys, but he was the most aggressive. So quite often I think attitude goes a long way. Very quiet evening. All the flies upon him. Hi, Daniel. And he's in Scotland. Daniel would like to know if we've ever seen all the Birmingham boys on one drive. Indeed we have. Quite a few times in the early days. There used to be 5 of them, and we actually have seen all 5 together on quite a few occasions. The last time we saw all 5 together was on Sandy Patch in the sunset. It was quite a spectacular sight as they walked alongside us with the sun setting beyond them. Obviously since then, one Birmingham boy has moved to the great hunting field in the sky. He died eventually from injuries he sustained from a buffalo hunt. It looked like a buffalo horn punctured his lung. It unfortunately did take him quite a while to die. But it is a hard life for male lions. I mean, it is a really, really tough life, and male lions are always full of holes, scars, bites, scratches, ticks, biting flies, which you can see. Oh! I heard quite a funny comment from one of the Final Control girls when they saw a lion do that. It's like when you need to give yourself a hug. I'd never thought of it like that before, but of course he's just stretching, but it does look like he might be giving himself a hug. No, he looks very, very content. Not like he's about to move any time soon. Now, the great thing about having 4 male lions in a coalition, or even more, is the massive amount of area they can cover. So, I mean, we've got one male down on Cheetah Plains, which is, sure, probably as the crow flies, 10, 12, maybe 15 kilometers. And I'm sure Mfumo is around here somewhere. And then Nena could be in Buffelshoek somewhere. So that they're able to maintain dominance over a large area and by vocalization, by scent marking. And those vocalizations carry. I mean, a male lion can probably hear another one from about 20 kilometers. So if they ever get into trouble, reinforcements are just a roar away. Now, Dark Princess is wondering about the predator's smell, and she's wondering, do some predators smell more than others? And we did have those Impala alarm calling haphazardly, half-heartedly a little earlier. Now, she's wondering, do some predators smell more, that the prey species will alarm more and know that they're there? I wouldn't say so. I mean, let's be completely honest. Lions, leopards, hyenas, wild dogs, cheetah, none of them smell particularly pleasant. And I'd say out of all of those, you probably find the worst smelling lions by a long way. Yes, they're very smelly cats. But again, the most prey species will rely mostly on sight. So till they can see it for definite, and they start alarm calling incessantly. Smell doesn't actually play that bigger role. Sight and hearing, so hearing something that they're uncomfortable with, or actually seeing a predator, is what will set them off. Now, this big boy is not moving very much, so it is your game drive after all, so it's up to you. Should we spend some more time with the sleeping Tinyo, the Tooth, or should we carry on meandering to see what else we can find? Let me know by using the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. There's going to be a poll created by Final Control, so you can let us know whether we should hang out with a Tinyo for a bit longer, or should we go see if we can find some other interesting things. Yes, I don't think he looks like he's going to move or roar before the end of drive. He is quite, I suppose, you've heard us all say it a lot of time, but he is a very flat cat. Now, Liz is wondering, is Tinyo about the same age as Amber Eyes? And Liz, if I had to tell you, I would be lying. I'd say he's probably, I'm guessing he's 6.5, 7. I'm not actually sure on Amber Eyes' age. She was an adult lioness when I arrived here, and so I couldn't say whether she's older, younger, in between. She's an adult though, that I'm quite sure of. Now with adult lionesses, unless you've known them for a long time, it is quite difficult. So there we go. Apparently she is 6, and so it's about the same age then, maybe a little bit younger. You must remember the Birmingham boys spent their time marauding up north before becoming resident down here, and they had a good couple of years by themselves before they became pride males, dominating over 3 prides. Hi, Adam in Alabama, who's a brand new viewer, so a massive Safari Live welcome to you, Adam. Really great to have you on the back of the largest game drive vehicle in the world. Now, Adam's question is, any of the animals that we see showed aggression towards us? Occasionally, Adam, but generally if an animal shows aggression towards us, we'll move away. With the lions and leopards, not too often. Sometimes with ellies, if ellies are uncomfortable, we'll move away. We never want to put ourselves in a position where the animal feels so uncomfortable that they need to get overly aggressive with us. So we are very careful about that and try and move away as soon as there is any sign of that. And it's very important to remember, as long as you drive and treat these animals with respect, and you're going to be okay. But as soon as you start pushing their boundaries and you're asking for trouble, these are wild animals. This is the middle of the bush, so don't be naughty. There we go, he moved his tail. A very sleepy kitty. Still digesting the buffalo. There you go. Still got quite a nice full belly, so not hungry. Tina would like to know, will a coalition member kill another member of the coalition? I mean, it's possible if they get into a very, very serious fight over females, but it's very unlikely. I haven't heard of a coalition member killing another coalition member, but it might have happened. As I said, there's no fixed and set rule with these animals. So the moment you start dealing in concrete, you get jackhammered. Well, I thought that was quite clever. What do you think, Brian? Do you like that one, Brian? I saw Brian. Brian started smiling. Yes. So I mean, anything is possible, Tina. It's one thing you got to remember. These animals are incredible, and they of course don't read all the books we write about them, so they're quite capable of proving us wrong at any time. So I definitely wouldn't rule it out, but I would say it would be uncommon behavior. And see, as it gets cooler, the biting flies decrease in number, so it gives a lot of the animals a respite for the evening from the irritating bites of the stable flies. Although it seems like Tinyo is a Zen master. He's managed to find enlightenment and ignore the flies completely. So, the poll has spoken, and we're going to leave him now and go see what else we can find. Okay. So we're going to make our way out. We'll leave Mr. Tinyo to his slumber. Now, there he is. For those of you who watch the Djuma Dam Camp, and you must keep a listen out tonight, because I think they're going to be quite vocal. Now, I'm just going to get a road marker. There we go. That's my road sign to leave on the road for the next person coming in, so they can find Mr. Tinyo. Now I'm pretty sure Mfumo and Amber Eyes are somewhere to the north of the Vuyatela Dam, but we just couldn't find them, and it is a very big area there without any roads, so we did have a good look, but they might get moving. I think Amber Eyes is still desperately trying to get back towards the rest of the pride, and although I'm not sure, did you see them mating? If we've seen them mating, then maybe she will be with them for a few more days, but I haven't seen them mate yet, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But good news, while I place my road sign, Jamie has made it back to Djuma in one piece.
We have made it back onto Djuma without any assistance from any road signs, but I should hope not. It's not a very difficult journey to make. And now we're heading into the evening to see what mysterious nocturnal creatures we can find. And it's just right at that point where a spotlight doesn't quite help you. It's just in the next 2 minutes the spotlight will be helpful, but right now all it serves to really do is highlight the bushes and nothing else behind them or in them. We're trundling along the southern boundary of Djuma, just waiting to see what we can see, really. I've seen Janet on my road home from Cheetah Plains before. I've seen Serval. There's all kinds of things that might decide to pop out. Oh, by the way, I did want to show you the viewers, the tracks that the Francolin made in the dirt. Unfortunately, they weren't clear at all. Plus a whole load of Impala had marched on top of them. So that combination in this light, I did try and take a photo for you, but in this light and on an evening like this evening with the dark, with the sun setting in the clouds, it just didn't come out at all. I'm sorry. I will look for another place where birds have dust bathed, perhaps tomorrow on the sunrise safari, and I'll see if I can't get you a much nicer looking track. Sorry about that. I did try, but it was just, I think I was a little overly ambitious with the amount of light that we had. I did try though. It basically just looks like a little scuffed basin. It's just a little depression in the earth, and you can see the birds' claws, and you can see where they've fluffed their feathers and the dust has gone flying in every which direction. Okay, let's see. It would be very funny if we bumped into Karula on our way home, and entirely possible as well. Although I think that the killer bees might be a little bit upset with us if we did. But let us see how we go. Now I'm hoping, since Byron's had a boomslang, perhaps we might manage with a chameleon. Or one of the nocturnal species of snake would also be very nice. One of the blind snakes perhaps. There's quite a few nocturnal or snakes that come out at night. And even some of the diurnal ones are still around and about at this time of evening. And it's nice and cool after a hot day, because in summer, of course, being ectothermic, they can overheat. Not overheat, but they have to find shade when it does get too hot. But this evening's the perfect temperature for an ectothermic snake to wander about. Let's see. This is where I saw the genet the last time. It was somewhere around here. And they often reuse the same little secret nesting places. But I don't see any sign of them. I happen to be, just by the way, while we're driving around at night, and I'm thinking of it, after I finished my walk a couple of days ago, sorry Viam, that was a bit bumpy. After I finished my walk a couple of days ago, I did happen to be in final control when Karula popped out and surprised Byron. And she really did pop out and surprise him. He stopped to look at an impala, and this leopard just, I don't know, she just glided out of the bushes right next to him. Oh, hello. I saw movement. Sorry, V, I'm going to have to go forward a little bit for you. Oh, there we go. No, it's fine. Little scrub hair. His movement just caught my eye. And that fluffy mixed coat of greys and blacks and browns makes for perfect camouflage during the day, and they sit completely still, hidden beneath dense vegetation. Oh, he's got a hole in his ear, I just noticed briefly. But they will sit completely still in dense vegetation, and much like the lizard earlier with Byron, a surprise scrub hare jumping out of the bushes next to you can give you quite the fright. And they'll be out looking for grazing opportunities, and of course practice what's known as coprophagy. Unlike most of our other herbivores, they have a relatively simple digestive tract, and as a result, he's hopped away by the way, as a result, in order to digest their food, they can't do it with a four-chambered stomach like our ruminants. They have to essentially digest their food once, excrete it, defecate it out, and eat their defecation again. And that's how they go about really getting the nutrients that they need. And you'll also see little baby antelope do it as well, and baby zebra, and baby elephant, and hippo. A lot of baby animals will do it as a way of getting the enzymes and the antibodies that they need from their moms. Now, Liz, you want to know whether or not we've had any slithery friends in our house lately. It's actually been surprisingly quiet on that front. We had one large snake, we don't know what it was, one large snake slithered away from us as we arrived one night to get back home. As we pulled into the driveway and as we parked the car, there was a very large snake that slithered away. It could have been any number of things. It could have been the big scary ones like a mamba or a cobra, or it could have been a large, I don't think it was a large house snake, it was too large for that, but it was quite a big snake. I know that Alex this morning, was it this morning only? No, it was yesterday morning. It was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning we had the tiger snake in the cam ops room, which is where all of our cameras and equipment is stored. There was a tiger snake in there. I believe that one was caught by Steph. And then shortly afterwards, wait, hold on, Rebecca, just remind me, how did that tiger snake come to be found again? Did it slither across your foot or something? Rebecca says that both she and Gert were in the cam ops room at the time, and that they got such a big fright, or skrukt, as we say in South African colloquialism. They skrukt so hard that they screamed, and it wasn't audible because they got such a fright, it was too high pitched. I think I would have paid money to see Gert leap that high into the air though. It would have been thoroughly entertaining. So a little tiger snake, they are mildly venomous, not dangerous to humans, but they are mildly venomous. And then Alex sent through a picture of what's known as a variegated bush snake that was hiding out in one of the boxes below the dam camera that he was busy working on. I don't know whether he ever managed to extricate that snake or if it moved. Oh no, he did say it moved away. He did tell me it moved away from, ow, bug to the ear. It moved away from that area. So we've had one or two, luckily not as bad as last year's cobra in the kitchen, or last wet season's cobra in the kitchen. That was an interesting one. We never found that cobra, despite best efforts. But it is the start of yet more things to come. Quite a few scorpions. Sorry, I did see something here. I think it was a little daker though, and it appears to be gone. No. Nope. And I think, if I'm not very much mistaken, that about covers our snake encounters for this wet season. But let's head across to Brent so that he can confirm that absolutely is the case.
Well, I don't know if Jamie remembered the Connor's snake sighting. Final Control will tell me now. It was quite an amusing one. Oh, hello. Well, I'll tell you about it once we have a look at this little birdie in the road. Now, for the birders, we haven't had a chance to look at nightjars for a while. Now, they are incredibly difficult to ID because they all are sort of that mottled brown color. Now, quite often, you want to try ID them based on where you are sitting. And you see that massive eye. Let me get the nightjars out. Now, in our area, we've got the two main vocal nightjars are the fiery-necked nightjar and the square-tailed nightjar. Of course, both of them have reddish necks. just to confuse. Now, quite often, one of the more difficult things with them. Where's the fiery-necked nightjar? Sorry. You want to look at the wings, and obviously when they're not flying, it's quite difficult. Oh, we can hear it calling. Now, if this one responds, oh, he leapt after a bird. Oh, but then that gives us a much better view. I'm going to put the other spotlight on for you, Brian. So we're looking at that around the throat is an easy way because that fiery neck is not a good indicator. Generally, we're looking around the neck for the white there. Now, again, both species have white, but we're also looking at the wing shoulder because the wing shoulder has no white on it. And we've got that little white dot under the throat, and it's not too prominent. And he's got quite a grey head. So we are looking at a male fiery-necked nightjar here. Now, as I said, they can be extremely difficult. Let me just rephrase. We're looking at a very full male fiery-necked nightjar. Look how full his crop is. He's been eating all the bugs. Brian will be very happy because otherwise the bugs land on Brian. Here we go. A male fiery-necked nightjar. Now, let's switch off the lights so when we go past he can escape us. Now, Jamie did forget one snake sighting, which is possibly the most amusing snake sighting of the year. We were all sitting around the fire, conversing, obviously very intelligent, deep conversations, as all the Wild Earth staff do around the fire. No nonsense talk whatsoever. And I was sitting next to Connor and James Connor and discussing very deep and meaningful things. Connor, I thought, fell off his chair and he leapt without a word through his chair. We thought he fell off and jumped 2 meters back and they went, "Oh, snake!" But it didn't warn any of us till he was well clear of the firing zone. And it was very amusing. And shame, it turned out to be a little East African, East African shovel snout. Very pretty little harmless snake that I put a video up of that snake on my Instagram if you want to have a look. It's a very, very beautiful little snake, a very harmless snake. Normally lives underground, eats things like slugs and snails and lizard eggs, actually, and snake eggs are one of its favorite things. So completely harmless to us. That was another snake sighting this year. And then, of course, VM and I had one on drive of a black mamba on quarantine being mobbed by starlings, and I think that wraps up all the snakes for the year. Now, the one thing we have not seen a lot of this year is chameleons. Brian seems to think he's going to find one tonight.
I will.
He will. Will you find one before the end of drive is the question. Oh, Brian's... Okay, where would you like me to drive to find you a chameleon?
Back towards camp.
Back towards camp, okay. Let's see if Brian's chameleon spotting skills are on form this evening. Well, Plain Expert, who's a new viewer, said had so much fun on last night's drive and decided to come back. Well, welcome back. I hope you've had fun on this drive as well. As we're searching for chameleons at the moment. Of course, we wouldn't say no to a leopard that stepped out in front of us, but our main aim of the game is that Brian is convinced he's going to find a chameleon, so I will drive wherever he wants to find a chameleon. So we're coming up to a T-junction, Brian. Would you like to go straight towards the Vuyatela Pan, or would you like to go left past Inger's in your chameleon search?
To the left.
To the left. Okay. So we'll go to the left past Inger's. If I was looking for chameleons, I would have gone straight, but it's not me. It's Brian. So if we don't find any chameleons, it's not my fault. Aha. Here we go. No sign of any chameleons just yet. Oh, Impala. Now we're looking in trees that chameleons like, quarries and buffalo thorns. And the Impala have passed. It's on with the lights again. And it has rained 2 nights in a row. Not much rain, but will that be enough to bring the chameleons out? Not in that bush. Have I found a chameleon, Brian? Or was that just a funny shaped leaf? Or is it a moth? If it is a chameleon, it's the most minute chameleon in the world. You see that there? What is that?
That yellow spot there?
Yeah, it's a dry leaf. It's a dry leaf, alas. Not a chameleon. It's not a moth. It's a dry leaf. The last dry leaf left on the gori bush. Okay. No signs yet of any chameleons. Oh, Brian, we're running out of time. Uh-oh. We've got to go across to Jamie. Will Jamie beat the killer bees in the chameleon hunt? Let's find out.
Brent has no need to be nervous, I'm afraid to say. I've got nothing. Although I have a feeling that Rebecca might have made him think that I do. I have not yet found a chameleon. I did, however, also find a very strange leaf. So of course we're looking for the slightly lighter coloured chameleons. They go white at night because there's no point to them being any other colour, because not much can see in colour at night. So they go a light colour that stands out very, very clearly. But unfortunately, clearly is all relative, and I haven't seen one chameleon this season. Starting to feel somewhat bereft. I'm going very, very, very slowly, and the nice thing about looking for chameleons is the things you find at the same time while you're searching. Nope. It's either the smallest chameleon in the world or it's a moth. Or it's a leaf.
It's a flower.
It's a flower! Oh, almost. Almost, but not quite. No, I didn't make a bet on that one, Rebecca. A chameleon tip jar. Every time we think we've seen a chameleon, we have to put 10 rand into a tip jar. I think that's quite a good idea. First one to see an actual one gets the jar. I like that. False alarms equal 10 rand. And then whoever sees the first one So the longer we go actually without seeing one, and with more false alarms, the better. And then whoever gets the one will earn a huge amount of money. Not a huge amount of money. Might feel like a victory though. Have a false spot penalty jar. I like that, VM. It's a good idea. Except now I have to pay 10 rand, but so does Brent. And my other one doesn't count because I wasn't live. So it doesn't count as a false chameleon. Luckily we've got the gentle squeaking of Jigger as we travel very slowly. Squeak, 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 squeak. Hey Jigger, it's good to have you back out of your time of confinement.
There was spiderwebs at the end.
We got many spiderwebs. Ah, yes, actually, because VM was busy working in the back of Jigger, and he apparently found many spiderwebs in the back. So Jigger's basically been gathering cobwebs and dust over the last few weeks, so it's good to have her back in action, even if she is a little squeaky. Come on, chameleon. Basically, we could walk home faster, although we wouldn't because it is dark and that's dangerous. But that's how keen I am to spot the chameleon. Oh no! We are out of time, and time has run out, and it's time to say farewell to you all. So sadly we'll have to say goodbye and resume the chameleon search tomorrow. But from VM and myself, well, actually a big thank you to VM first of all, and to all of the rest of the crew and to you, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye everybody.
No chameleons yet. Oh dearie me. We do have 2 secret spots to check. Now, last rainy season, you know what? I think the elephants have moved the secret spot, Brian. They have. It's gone. So this branch used to be much bigger and go across the road, and we often used to find a chameleon in it, but the elephants, I forgot about that, have trimmed the chameleon branch. Okay, well, we haven't given up yet. Well, if we can't find them out in the bush, let's look closer to home. We have found chameleons in these buffalo thorns right outside camp many times. No! Brian, why did you put so much pressure on us?
Don't buckle under the pressure.
Don't buckle. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Oh no, waterbacks, I apologize. Come on, chameleon. Come on, chameleon. Oh dear. I think we might have to say it's a draw. No one found a chameleon. Sharon thinks the false chameleon should be ordained as a new wild earth species. Well, I don't think I'm going to let that. It has to be a real one. What do you think, Brian? Has to be a real one. Has to have oscillating eyes. But it's nearly the end of drive. We've had lots of fun with you all today, and don't forget we're going to be doing it again in a few short hours, and we look forward to having you on the back. And as always, Brian, so good. Killer bees back. And to all of us, from all of us at Wild Earth, thanks very much, and we'll see you bright and early in the morning. Chameleon? No.